We're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another This Week in Real Estate show hosted by yours truly, one of the original bearded men of real estate. My name's Ray, and we are live everywhere right now from Twitch to YouTube to Instagram, Clubhouse, Facebook. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. We are back after a week away. I feel like this week away has been a long time away, though. But if you're joining the show, this is episode 288, broadcast live Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. And wait, let me find it. Hang on. This is one of my favorite show titles. I was supposed to be fading that out, and I was using the wrong fader. My bad. Someone in the comments last week was like, the music at the beginning is too loud. I like the music. They're good jams. Okay, show title for today is Frauds, Scandals, and an Economy in Shambles. The thumbnail says the housing vibe stinks, playing on the recent vibe. And we're going to go into why. We have a bunch of lawsuit stuff to cover today. We have a bunch of economic news to cover today because we weren't on the show yet last week. And so without further ado, we're going to dive into all that. If you are watching, you can actually comment if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and I can display your comment and I can talk about you, just like Olivier did over in the Canada. He said, where's Matt? Playing golf again? That's a great question. I haven't heard from Matt today, actually. Cindy's here on YouTube and on Clubhouse. What's up, Cindy? Maverick Home Group says, what up, Ray? What's up? Thank you for joining us there. If you're on YouTube, I already said that. If you're on Clubhouse, you can raise your hand. And if you have a bio, one of the moderators will bring you up and you can add your voice to the podcast. And so fair warning, whatever you say is recorded and here for the entire world to hear in perpetuity, as long as Apple hosts podcast. So thanks everybody for joining us. Let's just jump right into it. Agents file a lawsuit against Move for selling fake leads. Do you guys have fake leads? Are y'all getting leads from people that you call them and they're like, I don't know why you're calling me. I didn't inquire on anything. I think this is a huge issue because I am getting fake leads. I'm still getting fake leads. And I don't know where these numbers are coming from. The people are like, no, I'm not even searching for a house. I didn't put my information anywhere. Maybe, perhaps somebody put the wrong information into realtor.com to inquire to find out more information about a property. Why would someone do that? I don't know why someone would do that. Over on Instagram, Mia said, yes, she's getting fake leads. Why would someone put someone else's info? That doesn't make sense. So it can't be someone putting someone else's information in. They would just do like fake information. They wouldn't do someone else's real information, surely. So if it's not someone putting in incorrect information on purpose, then why are we receiving the fake leads? Well, this lawsuit alleges that there's a whole conspiracy to do it. So the plaintiffs claim that NAR was complicit also. So they're not only going after the News Corporation, which is News Corp, is owned by Move and Op City, Realtor.com, but they're also going for NAR. So there's 8 real estate agents from 6 states, California, Nevada, Washington, Florida, Georgia, and New York. They filed the lawsuit against Move in the Los Angeles Superior Court. All right, so here's the key allegations on Brokerages Media. It's the lawsuit against Move and additional defendants is rooted in several key allegations, fraudulent lead sales. The complaint states the defendants failed and refused to take any action to vet, legitimize, or confirm the identity of these so-called leads and deliberately sold fake leads and false leads along with other leads which range from highly questionable to legitimate. The complaint also states that the defendants further misled, defrauded, and intentionally deceived each of the plaintiffs by representing that by paying subscription fees, enhanced subscription fees, and other payments, each such real estate agent was obtaining specific benefits which had a high likelihood to generate business. Yeah. And then it says the refusal of refunds. Each plaintiff complained about the fake leads and sought refunds. However, the defendants then would engage in an attrition program, which included showing or reciting the fraudulent terms to each of the plaintiffs and asserting that each such plaintiff was not entitled to any such relief. NER's complicity. I think this is the weakest part of the argument, just in my opinion, but NER and at all times was independently and intimately aware of the scheme and complicit therein through NER's relationship and reliance upon other defendants to build membership ranks. So they go on to say it's like because NER's close relationship to Realtor.com and the brand Realtor, that they are also significantly involved. It is seeking a class action status. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are also getting fake leads. Elizabeth, this is a great Elizabeth Nightingale. Wonderful analogy. Says, is that like ordering 10 pizzas to send to someone else as a prank? Yeah. I like that. Shake my head. What's really going on? They heard of the easy pill and got scammed. That's their fault. I mean, it is, but if you're paying for legitimate leads, if you're paying for it, then you should receive it. And if you don't receive it, if you're receiving illegitimate or fake leads, then shouldn't you get a refund for that? Brian Hershey said the leads are weak. Coffee is for closers. What's up, Brian? Mia's naming names in the comments on Instagram. She said sold.com is going is going well or going bad or is going this way. Which way? All right. So the point, why do real estate agents buy these leads? Well, people inquire in all these online portals, and the online portal's job is to deliver that inquiry to a real estate agent. And that's why these online portals don't really care if the data is accurate. Like they don't care if your house is actually worth $100,000 more than the estimate states. What they're trying to do is to get you to ask the question, is that really my home value? And whenever you do that, you inquire and then get sent to a professional, and then that lead is paid for by that professional. So don't misunderstand the system here. It is not a consumer-facing system at all. It is it's a system bought and paid for by real estate agents. But if real estate agents are getting bad leads, why would they continue to pay for it? Let's see. I think that's pretty much all the details of the complaint. Plaintiffs allege that Move engaged in unlawfully bundling and selling low quality or fake leads to real estate agents. The thing that I like about this complaint is that maybe we will see a little bit behind the scenes because of discovery. Maybe there will be some lifting back or pulling back of the curtain. And that pulling back of the curtain might give us more information as real estate agents to see what's really going on here. For instance, let's say if one real estate agent marked a lead as fake or just bad. Sometimes you call people and they're like, I didn't put in my information. If you mark this lead as like a bad lead, it's not good. This person doesn't want any information. And then Realtor.com takes that lead and then sells it to another real estate agent. That would show like, okay, they knew without a shadow of a doubt that this was a problem. And they continued to do it. Brian Hershey said, I told a friend my neighbor's house was for sale and it wasn't. Am I going to jail? No, Brian, because as any good real estate agent knows, which I know you're not one, but this is why you're not going to jail. Every house is for sale. It just depends on the price, my man. Just depends on the price.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
You're never going to see the curtain pulled back on all that information.
There's no discovery, you think?
This will definitely settle. And can we change the name of the podcast to This Week in Real Estate Lawsuits?
I feel like that would be appropriate, especially recently.
Oh, God. Right?
Yeah. This is what we do now.
Yeah, you'll never see behind that curtain at the Wizard of Oz for sure.
So here's the deal though, Jack. If they settle this, then guess who else is suing? All of us. We're just going to be like, yeah,
Yep.
okay, we're all in. If you settled, if you gave them money for bringing this lawsuit, then the first thing I am going to do is find a local attorney here to bring a lawsuit for me, because this has happened to me. I can show you the leads that this has happened to me on. So I think it's worse to be sent fake leads than to be sent no leads at all. If you're sent no leads at all, you're not wasting your time on anything. If you're sent fake leads, you wind up wasting time, which is time you could have spent towards actually clients that are paying you. Brian.
Well, and there are absolutely calculated damages, because if people are paying for these leads, then each lead is worth an amount.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a winnable suit.
Well, plus I would also charge my hourly rate.
Oh yeah. Well, unlike the NAR suit, which shouldn't have been easily won, but I digress. I tell you, I am so frustrated after 2 weeks of dealing with talking with buyers and sellers about the stupidity of this of the new way of being. And you might have another chapter in the story on that further on down into the podcast.
Brian actually said his neighbor's house is for sale. Skate agent said, I did new construction for 5 years and I had people sign in. I would call them and they would ask why I'm calling them. They signed in, but they seem to be fake leads, even though they signed in. Yeah, this is going to be difficult to prove. It's going to be very difficult to prove. But if you have the notes from people saying I didn't do this, then I think, wouldn't that force, this is what I'm saying about behind the curtain, Jack. Wouldn't that force, realtor.com to say, well, here's how they actually came in and here's the form they filled out and here was the time they put it in. I mean, they would have to go through some proof showing that they aren't fake and then showing that those leads weren't resold once they knew they were fake. Skate agent says do a kickflip. Man, I haven't done a kickflip since high school. It was since high school. It was a long time ago.
I agree with you, Ray.
Do you think we're going to see anything, Shani?
No, I think it'll be hard to prove, because you have those people that clearly signed in the open house or filled out your form and then I didn't do it. I mean, so it's very difficult, because that's such a common occurrence, people do it all the time. I mean, somebody called me, I went to a taco festival this summer, they're like, I filled out what? And then, the free vacation, they called me about the free vacation from the taco festival, and, people aren't trying to hear it. They're not ready to hear it. So it's very, very common. And I see it very hard to prove because it's something that people just do.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to figure out how this is going to play out. I don't think they're going to settle. I think they're going to fight it, Jack, because I think if they settle, it's like throwing their hands up saying we give up, and they're just going to have so many copycat lawsuits come out of the woodwork. I don't think they're going to. That's why I don't think they're going to settle.
It's going to be your admission of guilt if they settle. Like, something's going on, so more people are going to sue until they open up the books.
Yeah, I think so too. Basically, if you settle, you admit guilt. They're going to have to
the other side
fight
of this
it.
I think the other side of this is, when is NAR toast? Like, when are they done? Because they're getting sued from every direction, from within and from without.
I think the weakest part of this is that NAR is involved. I think that's the weakest part of the lawsuit. I don't think they're going to be able to approve that, because NAR is going to say, look, it's a totally separate company. We sold that website. We're no longer involved with it. But how wild would it be, man, if they're like, actually, we have these emails. Then you're like, oh, well, no, here we are again. All right. So speaking of lawsuit, what if there was a way to sue an entire industry and to change a rule because of how you said it impacted you as a consumer? And once that rule was changed, create a company that says, hey, because of this new rule, there's all this nefarious stuff happening, so you should use my company. What if that actually happened? Wouldn't that be wild? Sitzer, His new startup charges $49 per home tour. So you know the guy, Sitzer? He has a new startup called Landian, a combination of land and guardian. I mean, he's got to be working on the marketing there. According to Sitzer, the purpose of Landian is to give consumers the option of paying flat fees for services of a licensed real estate agent. As Sitzer told TechCrunch, quote, due to the anti-competitive structure of the industry, before the lawsuit, I, as the seller, was effectively coerced into paying 3% of my selling price to the buyer's agent in order to achieve a successful sale. While hiring agents is a choice for many, I don't believe anyone should be bullied into paying for undesired services due to unfair industry practices. So it's a flat fee agent service. They have $49 for a home tour, $199 for an offer prep session. I'm assuming an offer prep session is the like submitting the offer. No, not Landon. Brian, Landian. It's worse. I went to the Landian.co website. It is not a .com. And let's just peruse it together, so you can see it straight from the horse's mouth. I'm not saying he's a horse. Catch mark. Chill out. Homebuyers beware. New 2024 laws. He's got an animated YouTube video, which I'm not going to push play because I don't want to be taken off the YouTubes, because I guarantee they come after me. Discover the Landian advantage. Easy listing import. Schedule tours. Make offers easy. Big savings. Is that really? It sounds like it was written by an assistant, a VA out of the country. Here's a fake situation where they have a traditional package of a 3% buyer agent. There's no price per tours. Tours taken, 5. Offers made, 2. Total paid by buyer, $15,000, which is 3% of the average home price. Savings, $0. With Landian, an exclusive pay at closing, price per tour, $49. Price per offer, $199. So offers taken, 5. Or tours taken, 5. Offers made, 2. Total paid by buyer with their exclusive package is $1,799, which is 0.36% of the home purchase price. So the tours are, now this is a special package, so this is slightly different. You can actually save more money if you just kind of go a la carte. Because 5 tours is $245, right? Plus 2 offers, that's $643. So you're still overpaying by, if you use Landian's own exclusive pay at closing plan. Now, if you use their default pay up front plan, that's where you get the real savings. That's $643. So they say that you'll only need to take 5 tours, and there's only 2 offers made. All right. Well, if you're an agent, luckily you can sign up for this discount service and unlock a new era of success. I think it would be an error of success, but it's an era of success. They have the a la carte services, exclusive buyer representation, and compliance made easy. I should note that I can make fun of Landian all I damn want because they are not a real estate brokerage. So they are not protected under the code of ethics at all, and they don't have to live by the code of ethics at all. So watch it. If you go to the facts, because I know some of you out there, I already see in the comments, you're saying, what the fact? This is the fact. The question is, Landian works in all 69 states, territories, districts, and provinces of the United States and Canada. So Olivier, this is in your neck of the woods already, bro. Now, this is what I thought was rich. This section right here that says, why shouldn't I try to contact the listing agent directly to schedule a tour? And this is misinformation. 100%. It says, quote, under the new 2024 laws, which Sitzer made happen with his lawsuit. He kind of forced this lawsuit to take place, or forced the laws to change through his lawsuit. Under the new 2024 laws, real estate agents are now required to have you sign a buyer representation agreement before they can let you tour a home. Now, the question on the fact is, why shouldn't I just try to contact the listing agent directly? His answer is, well, because now you have to sign a buyer representation agreement. This is false. It's fake news. This means you could be pressured into committing to a 3% commission, potentially costing you $15,000 on a typical $500,000 home. By using Landian, you can avoid this scenario entirely. Landian coordinates with licensed agents who follow a strict code of ethics, because Landian doesn't, to ensure you a no pressure, zero commitment tour for a super low flat fee.
Are they providing representation?
They are not providing representation. Landian is not a brokerage. They are only So Landian is only connecting you with a real estate agent. So what it is a lead generation service that sets up this $49 per showing deal, $199 per offer deal, that I'm assuming the agents that are, quote, in network with them have to agree to abide by.
But is there representation from the agent? I mean, if it's a showing fee and an offer fee, there's no fee for due diligence. There's no fee for anything. I mean, you're better off being a disclosed dual, represented through disclosed dual agency than no agency, right?
You don't even have to do dual agency. You could do just an agent representing the seller only. And that's one of my big problems with this premise that he has. Why shouldn't I just try to contact the listing agent directly? Yeah. If you're thinking about using Landian, just contact the listing agent directly. You'll pay $0. You don't even need the $49 home tour. Just contact the listing agent.
I mean, back to the demise of consumer protection within our business is the biggest thing that's driving me nuts. Had a conversation today with a veteran filling out a buyer representation form, and you don't have to worry about this part that says that you pay, because you can't pay through your VA loan process.
Well, they can now. Those new rules that they can now.
Yep, they can now. They could have as of August 10th.
Yep.
The veteran buyer can pay.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that. I don't deal with many, but now
I'm sure the veteran buyers are going to be real grateful that they can pay their own fee now.
Did you see the USA Today? Did you see the USA Today article that talked about this? We were tackling discrimination, and then this settlement came along.
No.
And it talked about how I'll send it to you, and I meant to send it to you earlier.
Do. Put it in the contributor chat. I'd love to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Now Olivier says
it's such a setback, and it's really sad, and I'm so pissed at NAR and the way they like inadequate. Not even the lawyers should be charged for malpractice that they didn't get this thing over the finish line with the job that they did defending this case.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
Yep, they went the total incompetent wrong way. Olivier said that the Landian business model can't work in Quebec, so we're good. Why can't it work in Quebec, Olivier?
It can't work because we're not allowed to be paid unless we close, unless we do 5 or 6 forms, which nobody will do for $200. Because I mean, what's the point in doing 5 forms to get $200 to write an offer for someone? Plus, have your liability on the line because you did an act of brokerage. So your responsibility is on the line for $200. Nobody will do it here. I mean, we're allowed to not pay compensation to buyer's agent. Nobody does it because they know they're going to work double the work with unrepresented buyer for no more pay. So, I mean, it's like all these models people think about never work because we're losing money doing it and they think we're going to do it for free. So that's exactly what Landian is thinking that people will do. And it won't work in the States either unless someone is so hungry that they need $200.
Yeah. Justin Conoco, another Canadian, in the comments, he's obviously right all the time. He says, I love Ray Ellen. He's great. Neil Diamond, not so much. I mean, you have to be on the Twitter to get that joke. That's interesting. Olivia, you bring up a good point that I was kind of leaning towards too. Let's say, to answer Jack's questions earlier, are they providing any representation? Let's say there is an agent that's providing the representation and charging the pay per use. So $49 tour fee and then the whatever else it is. All right. So let's say they're using that and they are providing representation. You're telling me that a real estate agent who makes a living helping people buy and sell real estate is going to risk their license for less than, for what, $643 on a transaction? No frickin' way. And I have to say, like, $643 is usually what a transaction coordinator makes on a deal. So that's not far off what somebody's just only pushing paperwork makes on a deal. So an agent that has a transaction coordinator on a team that's handling all that can't even afford that. An agent that's paying any kind of broker anything at all they're not going to be allowed to do this. Like you in order to accept funds, similar to what Olivier was saying, to accept funds of any kind has to go through the broker. Normally, if it's real estate related or because of real estate practice, or else that real estate agent is not covered by their insurance. So let's say I'm taking like tips from people outside of my broker to show a house, and I'm just accepting monies here and there, not going through my broker. Any monies I accept for any services provided in that situation are definitely not going to be covered by my errors and omissions insurance because I'm not going through the proper channels. So everything that I do real estate related has to go through my broker so that, the state requires the principal broker's got to look over it all. And then number two, I want to be covered by liability insurance in case something goes wrong. So I have to throw that through all the proper channels. I don't know of a brokerage out there that would allow their agents to do something like this unless that brokerage is already an extreme discount firm of some sort that has these principles in place, in which case, why in the world would they need to use Landian?
For 50 deals, you're making $33,000 a year.
There's no way. I'm not doing any paperwork in this situation. So I think they say that once the agent does their stuff, then they send them to an attorney to do the rest of it, which the real estate attorneys I know would just laugh at this situation. There's no way they would do this. All right. Let me see. I'm looking at let's go back to the facts here. My biggest problem on the fact is that it's wrong. If you want to go see a house and you just want to contact a listing agent, you don't have to pay anyone for that. You don't have to sign up for a buyer representation agreement. You don't have to pay the 3%. You can just deal directly. Now, I thought this was funny too. Can I search for homes directly on Landian? The short answer is no. Landian works with properties you find on major listing sites. Just paste a link for your own personal use, and Landian will import it for you to begin the tour request or offer. So you have to go to use their service. You have to find the property that you're looking for, pull it off of that website, go back to Landian, put it into that website, and they will start the tour request and offer process, finding an agent who has agreed to work for pennies.
This is a legal nightmare.
Well, luckily, from what I hear,
literally,
Andy, from what I hear, they may have a good attorney. Do you think Catchmark was like, this is a great idea, let me give you $15 million to put towards this?
Yeah, exactly. He took half of the money he made off of it. Hey, I'm going to invest in it so we can sue again, get sued.
Yeah.
They were also confusing laws for settlements.
Yes. Yeah, very true.
I mean, that's if that isn't misrepresentation, I don't know what is.
Yeah. It is a settlement. It's definitely not a law change. And it's a settlement through the trade organization. It doesn't affect anyone else that's a real estate agent. Brian Hershey says, do your own research, Landon. Okay, so this is their breakdown. How much does it cost to use? Tours, $49. Agent written offers, $199 per offer sent. Oh, ensuring professional guidance throughout the process is what they added. Nah, not for $200, man. I'm going to write this up and then say, let me know how it works out. AI powered offers. Oh, whoa. Let's not waste. Wait. You have a real estate agent with years and years of experience, very familiar with the contracts and the process and the negotiation. And to do that, they're saying that it's going to cost you $199. But wait, there's more. Let's say you don't want to waste that extra $100 because you need it. Then you could just use an AI-powered offer of $99, providing a cost-effective, technology-driven option for drafting and submitting your offer. Yeah, that's going to work. But there's also an exclusive agent package for a $1,799 flat fee, payable at closing. You can opt into our exclusive agent package, which includes a maximum of 5 tours and 2 offers. So you better be good at finding what you're looking for. I do have to say, so a lot of people are saying like 5 tours, that's not, it's going to be more than 5 tours. Yes, it's probably going to be more of 5 tours for most people, but 82% of people that we serve buy one of the first 3 to 5 houses we show them. But that's because all the time and effort that we put into filtering what's on the market and only showing them what they're actually going to be interested in. We go above and beyond calling the agents. Hey, does this have that extra thing that our client's looking for? No, it doesn't. Okay, we're going to put that at the bottom. We do all this extra research, find on and off market properties so that we can present the best option. And I'm not doing that for $1,799. There's no way. It's not worth my time. Why would I ever consider that? So if you use a Landian agent, I guarantee you're going to see way more than 5 properties. You're going to submit way more than 2 offers. Okay, it has other questions in here that are just kind of niche questions that they're trying to back up their claims about. Oh, this is how it saves a year of your mortgage payments because you could put your potential savings towards the cost of the home. And it says there are no hidden fees, so that's good. It goes into details about an offer prep session. If the offer is rejected, the fee, you still have to pay the flat fee unless you're the exclusive $1,799 deal in which you're only paid at close. So if the offer is rejected, the fee, you still have to pay it. The fee compensates the agent for their time and expertise in crafting, submitting, and negotiating your offer. So did we just wait? We just created a world in which it incentivizes the agent not to have your offer accepted. Landian agents can set up what? 20, 30 tours on a Saturday? Let's go see them all, man. It's really difficult for me to filter this. I really think you should see all 30 of these because they're wonderful potentials and you never know. And even if that agent knows there are multiple offers on properties and you probably have no shot in heck at getting that house, they can say, well, yeah, there are multiple offers, but you never know. They could accept your offer. So let's just submit offers. Let's write 10 of them up. Wouldn't that be the incentive of the person that's supposedly representing you?
Yeah, my suggestion would be to write the offers before we go see the houses, actually.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that offer prep session now so that we can immediately submit it upon entering the property. Olivier said, at $50 a piece, I'd show 30 houses a day, 5 days a week. I mean, let's go for it. Matt Lamarsto says, I'm not getting out of bed for less than 500. So that's the cost. That's just the cost of Matt's hair products, which are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as he gets.
Gas. You have to use premium in a Porsche. You can't just go get 87 or ethanol free. I mean, this thing runs on high octane fuel. This is not cheap.
That's true. You can't start your Porsche for less than $500.
Yeah, exactly.
Heather, what's up? Let's see. She says on Instagram, do not get me started on this ridiculousness of the financial stupidity of this model. $49 split to a brokerage because Landian isn't a brokerage. Whatever their money they're going to Landian, cost of gas, E&O, brokerage taking liability to show it takes time. It's 50 cents an hour. She calculates. We don't get the whole $50. Okay. Brian Hershey said, if I show my neighbor's house, 300x a day. I mean, if you are, Brian, let's get you licensed. Let's get you signed up with Landian, and you only show homes in your neighborhood. If you work, do you work from, I think you work from home. Don't you work from home? You could just, in a moment's notice, Landian on out there and make your $50. You just do it all day. I mean, why do you even need a license for that?
Yeah, but you can also be Ubering between appointments.
Yeah, just
You
Uber.
can be driving Uber, so you're an Uber agent.
Yeah. Yes, you could be an Uber and pick up people from the Uber to go show them properties, and then charge them the Uber and Landian fee. What's it worth? Appraisals on YouTube, which I think is Scap, says, I wonder how much they charge for appraisal disputes and reconsideration of values. Landian Schmandian. That's a good one. Elizabeth. Oh, yeah.
Is it Lando Calrissian?
It's Lando Calrissian. Isn't it Calrissian? You know what was funny about Lando? You weren't quite sure. Right. You were never quite sure whose side he was on. Yeah, I feel like that's apropos here. All right, they have a whole thing on their website. He's got a whole section on the NER settlement. I encourage you to go check out the facts so you know what the fact is going on. But yeah, interesting times. Landian's entering the market. What is even more interesting, if you Google Redfin Landian, you will see Redfin's response to this, which is basically, we've already tried that. that is the rephrased version of the Redfin response. Is like, nah, man, we've tried this. It doesn't work. You're going to go broke. This is not the way forward. And if it was the way forward, we'd already be doing it. So if it was the way forward, they would be there. So obviously it's not the way forward.
I wonder what the Consumer Federation of America thinks. Dun, da, da, da.
Well, they're not really out for advocating on behalf of protecting consumers' interests. They're more or less advocating for cheap. They just want cheap.
Yeah.
They don't really care about actually protecting their interest. Let's see, is this T.L. Earwis or T.I. Earwis? On YouTube says boundary issues and survey shown. Yeah. Does it include inspection? Says Cindy. Yeah. Do you have to show up to the inspection is that another $50 at $100 to negotiate that? Or do you just give it over to the attorney and you're kind of done after making the $200 offers? Well, 10 of them. I'd definitely make 10 $200 offers for anyone that has signed up with Landian and that wants to use me. However,
or just hear me out. You go with an agent, and you say, "Hey, I want to who's licensed and know how to do all of this. And if you have to pay anything extra, well, it's COIA at that point because you're paying the professional to do it.
Yeah, you got to pay the professional. Or you know what? If you don't want to go see 30 houses on a Saturday for $50 per house and submit 10 offers, if you'd like for me to filter the market so that I only show you the top 3 properties that actually match what you're looking for and make 1 to maybe 2 offers if you have to and win the negotiations to get you in the home of your dreams, that's going to be a different price. I'm not going to do that for $1,799. I can tell you that right now. Okay, we have another lawsuit. Boycotting listings? A look at Homie's lawsuit against NAR and big brokerages. Homie, Homie. Homie Technology is the latest to file an antitrust lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors and several major real estate firms. The complaint filed in the U.S. District Court of Utah, which is Cindy's neck of the woods, I think she sent this on the contributor chat, is similar to the lawsuits from home sellers. It alleges that the industry giants have violated antitrust laws, conspired to stifle competition, and maintained artificially high commissions. Homie's lawsuit targets NAR, Anywhere Real Estate, Keller Williams Realty, Home Services of America, Remax, and Wasatch Front Regional Multiple Listing Service. Did I say that right? Wait, is it Wasatch? Wasatch. I don't know. Homie claims NAR and its members have used control over the multiple listing service to create barriers to prevent new competitors from entering the market, ultimately harming both consumers and innovative companies. So this is kind of like, it reminds me of the Rex lawsuit. Homie's lawsuit targets NAR participation rule, which is no longer in effect. While it was, though, Homie states that it has messages from agents blatantly refusing to show Homie listings to clients unless they raise their buyer broker compensation. Here's an example of a text. If you have the commission, I'll bring my buyers. If not, I will not. It's a disservice to your client. Please educate them. Yeah, I mean, you should not be putting that in writing. That's ridiculous. You're texting that? Are you insane? Another text says, put a unit number and better directions on the listing and get a key for the super box. And buyer agent commission at 3%. I guess that was feedback that they received. Another one said, I'm sure it would sell if you changed the buyer agent compensation to 3%. Another says, raise the commission to 3%. The complaint also showcases the following email. Oh my goodness. This is so stupid. Guys, why do y'all do this? Hey, homie. That's the name of the company. I just want to let you know that I feel you're doing your client a great disservice by offering just $1,000 BAC on a property at blank in Lee. I'll be showing a client many homes in the area over the next few days, and offering 2.5 to 3% BAC on your listing would be one I otherwise would show them because of your BAC offering, which is laughable. I will not be including the listing in what I choose to show them, and I'm certain I'm not the only licensed professional who will be doing the same. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I did get it right. Wasatch. They closed 4 tonight. Oh, they closed down the company 4/19, April 19th of this year. Cindy says, Homie is good old Utah.
This just sounds like an SNL skit with Homie.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a good name.
Homie says.
Homie. Hey, homie.
And this week's lawsuit turns into next week's lawsuit, and next week's lawsuit. Oh my God.
I finally got the sounder for it. Hi, Josh. I listed I had your home on a list of 4 to show my buyers tonight, removed it from the list after I saw 1.5 buyer broker compensation. So I guess they could go after damages, but the rule that they are talking about is no longer in effect. I did want to cover this for a couple of reasons. I love seeing these email and text messages and brokerage media pointing out how just ridiculous they are. We are receiving stuff like this now, even after the lawsuit's been settled. And I mean, I don't know, maybe this will go out for enough people to hear it, but stop asking about the buyer agent compensation. Just go show the frickin' house. And if your buyer wants the seller to pay the buyer agent compensation, put it in the offer. That's it. It's easy. I don't know why everybody's all uppity about it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if your seller is offering 1.5 or 1 or 10 or whatever it is. My buyer agent fee is blank, and I'm going to put that in the offer if my client wants me to put that in the offer. That's it. So why should I even ask what you're offering? Because it doesn't matter. It's not the seller fee, it's the buyer fee, and they're asking the seller to pay for it. Anyway. Maverick Home Group says, word. It's not that hard. For real. That was scary. I was on the old Halloween soundboard for a second there. Jeez. Okay, so that's the homie lawsuit. Luckily, we're almost out of the weeds here. But we have NAR to fight the DOJ investigation all the way to the Supreme Court. So this is just a quick update on this for those of you who've been following along since 2020, which we have been doing the show that long. In 2020, NAR and the DOJ had a settlement. In 2021, the DOJ came out and said, we want to back out of that settlement. NAR said, no. You can't back out of that settlement. And a judge agreed with them. DOJ appealed and said, yeah, we can back out of this settlement and we want to continue to probe you. The judge, the appeals court said, yeah, DOJ is right. They could still probe you. Then the NAR said, no, you can't probe us. We settled, so we're going to the Supreme Court. And there is your NAR versus DOJ update. That was pretty concise. I mean, that was right on the money with what it was. Very concise, if I do say so myself. BrightMLS restricts data access. This is interesting. It was only to it's called let me get the name of it. Hang on. Realtix, RELITIX, maybe Realtix. It's basically a software that's been used for recruiting. They're removing some of the data that goes into that stream. However, there is another service that does the same thing, Showing Time's Market View Broker, which is also being used for recruiting, that has not lost access to the data. So BrightMLS told Brokerages Media, we treat all vendors alike and provide license and access to our subscribers, real estate agents, and brokers. Valuable real estate data only to vendors demonstrate they are using each piece of data for permissible purposes to serve our subscribers. We're in communication with the vendor about the agreement. So we'll see if this gets, now there's some light on it. We'll see if something happens and maybe it gets turned over or turned around. But, and then this is a story that Hillary sent in the contributor chat. It's actually just a press release, but I feel like this could be a bigger story in the future. The Southeast MLS Alliance unites for the largest MLS in the southeastern United States that provides improved agent access and data referrals. So it covers Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina. The rollout of the Southeast MLS Alliance is an exciting moment for real estate professionals and consumers. All this stuff is, it's press release, so it's just puff. But I think the bigger deal is that this could be a significant mark in the national MLS race, which we know is happening. All right, I think that is, let's see, let me double check here. I think that's all the tea. So I think we're done with the tea. This is good. Cheers, everyone. Next week. Actually, next week we're not going to have a show, by the way, because next week I have brokers classes. But The week after that, we'll probably have just as much tea because all this stuff has to shake out. They have to do updated articles. But in the meantime, let's get to the economy. This is the side, if you're a consumer, just fast forward to 49 minutes and 54 seconds. Now that you know this, 49 minutes and 54 seconds into it. Falling mortgage rates have yet to improve home sales, with buyers uncertain about the NAR settlement election. I don't think, we don't have many home buyers that are looking at us saying, well, I would love to buy a house right now, but I'm just so unsure about the NAR settlement. I don't have anyone that has said anything like that. And maybe that's because we're wonderful communicators at what's actually happening, or maybe it's just because it's not an actual concern. I think it's probably the latter. Sales aren't improving yet. Would-be home buyers are playing the waiting game. Redfin agents report that house hunters out there are touring homes, but some of them are hesitant to buy right now. Would-be buyers are waiting on one or all of the following: clarity on the NAR settlement. Which I just think that's wild. Some buyers have likely been scared off. How many? Like, where's the data on this? I need the data. I'm not seeing the data. Is there a survey? No. There's no survey. No survey at the bottom of this. It's just housing data at the bottom of this. I feel like this is speculation. Lower home prices. That's obvious. People want to pay less for a house. Lower mortgage rates. Also obvious. People are waiting for rates to go down. The outcome of the presidential election. Historically, during a presidential election cycle, the seasonal slowdown is around 10%. So you have about 10% fewer sales happen in this season. In an election year, it's about 15%. So it's only 5% lower than normal. I don't think that's extremely significant. And I think it's something that people will get over if rates go down. So you may be thinking like, oh, well, it must be slow right now due to the election. I would say that's probably a misnomer. It's only about 10% slower. So if you normally sell 10 houses a month, or 15% slower. If you normally sell 10 houses a month, now you may only be at 9 or 8.5 next month. That's not significant slowdown. It's just, it's seasonal. It's kind of following the seasonal rate. But mortgage refinance demand is 94% higher than it was last year. Wow. It's now heavily skewed towards refinancing as interest rates decline for the fifth straight week. Total mortgage application volume rose just 1.6%, however. That means the applications for a mortgage to purchase only rose 3% for the week, but we're still 4% lower than the same week a year ago. So that divide is not as big as it used to be. We're still seeing the low mortgage application volume driven by unaffordability through the home prices and high rates. That's the number one and number two thing. I would say the number three thing is the lack of inventory, lack of homes to choose from, though that is quickly changing. Have you guys checked in on your real estate photographers lately? Give them a call. If you haven't had a listing or something lately, give your real estate photographers a call, see how they're doing. My real estate photographers are covered up right now. So the good ones in your city, call them and see what's coming. And pro tip, if your real estate photographers accept payment via Venmo, many of them will put the street address in the name. So you can follow your real estate photographer and see when, Main Street, that house on Main Street, gets photos. Now you know there's a new listing coming on Main Street. Just, a little aside there. If you're really hard up for inventory, that's one way to get it. Why are interest rates significant? Well, 6 of 7 people with mortgages have interest rates below 6%, but the lock-in effect is starting to ease. So as we can see, it is going down. Above 6% is going down. We still need it to drop significantly to really reduce the lock-in effect. I think the reason why the lock-in effect is starting to ease is because rates are getting low enough where people just don't want to put up with the house they're in anymore. Nearly 9 in 10 U.S. mortgages have rates below 6%. There's the full breakdown. Let's go to Another reason the share of lock-in homeowners has dipped is everyone who purchased a home in the last year was entering the market at a time when the average mortgage rate was above 6%. It's worth noting that for some homeowners, the pandy surge in home values means that they have enough equity to justify selling and taking on a higher rate, especially if they're downsizing or moving somewhere more affordable. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be moving to more affordable parts of the country. I was on Christina Smallhorn's show, 2 Sundays ago? And that's one of the things I brought up. They were talking about all the speculators in the Atlanta market. Now you have these people buying gigantic swaths of neighborhoods and then setting the rent prices. And what I was saying is that, well, they can only charge as much rent as the market would bear. So we're looking at it saying, wow, that rent is so expensive, they should charge less. But we should really be looking at it and saying, wow, that rent is so expensive for me, because there are people paying it. And as long as people are paying it, they're going to continue to raise the rent rate. But they'll get to a point where suddenly fewer people are renting, the vacancy rate goes up, and that's when they've reached the ceiling for now. They'll either stay there or they'll have to drop their rent prices. The only way they're going to drop their rent prices is if there's more inventory. The only way to get more inventory is if more homes are being built or more homes are coming on the market. So the same people that everyone loves to hate, the hedge funds and the big builders that are buying these properties and then renting them out, are likely the ones that would rescue and have more properties go on the market to have more people be able to rent, instead of the prices just continuing to go up. But we shall see what happens. I think in the short run, we need an inventory solution that incentivizes sellers to sell. And if we get that from one of the candidates, I think that would be great. Next year, I would love to see some kind of home seller credit, where when they sell, they get a credit for selling, no matter if they buy or not. I think you would probably see some investors that are in a tight spot because they bought at the height of the market. The property's not renting like they thought it would because the increase in multifamily and other rents in the area. Maybe they want out of that, but they feel like they have to hold on to it because they're not making any money. They're going to break even or lose a couple of $1,000s. If they get some kind of tax credit or something that is a couple of $1,000s, 5, 10, then yeah, they'll put that home on the market, and that could ease some of the inventory pain that we're feeling right now for resale homes. And this is part of it right here. Home buyers must earn, I'm not showing that, hang on. Home buyers must earn nearly $80,000 to afford the typical U.S. starter home. That's just shy of the all-time high. The monthly housing payment for a typical U.S. starter home sold in July was $1,981. That's up 4.4% from a year earlier. This means that home buyers must earn $79,252 annually to avoid the typical starter home, to afford the typical starter home. Wow. And you could see the jump that we had from 2021, where stuff was around $40K. That's about how much people had to have to buy a typical starter home. And then it just rocketed up to where it's now nearly $80K. It did go down a little bit in the middle of the year. And maybe it was the beginning of the year. Beginning of 2024, it was down. It dipped. But then it recently has gone back up. And it's just, it's a supply and demand, guys. Supply and demand. Basic Econ 101. Let's see. Comments on YouTube. Cindy, she said David Childers and said new home prices have gone up every election year. 10 of the past 11 elections, only excluding was 2008, which we know what happened that year. Bryce Cooley said, I paid $40,000 cash for a really cool move-in ready 1890s commercial storefront with 2 apartments above Grand Rapids, Michigan back in 2017. Now it's worth $1.2 million. Capitalism is beautiful. That's great, Bryce. I'm assuming you put some work into it, right? I'm assuming you dropped some cash. It wasn't just a $40K outlay and you held on to it and now 1.2, right? Because if so, you're quite the speculator. Bryce said lots of Californians have moved here since the COVID shutdown happened. Michigan's become like California, but without a crazy homeless people and weird junkies. Well, just you wait, sir. Just you wait. Let's see, you bought that when? 2017. Okay. Let's see. Typical homeowners down payment is a record $67,500, up from 15% a year ago. That was last week's article. So here's the down payment information. Median down payment for U.S. home in dollars. And you can see how that basically follows the other chart that we were just looking at. Almost exactly. Bryce, I'm interested to know what you did to the place. So if you got a video about it, post it in the comments. Down payment rises to 18.6% of purchase price. And all cash purchases make up nearly a third of the home sales. That's interesting. 30.7% of home sales right now are all cash. That really started to go up in 2021. I mean, it's a hockey stick in 2020 to 2021, but then it just kind of oscillated up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think a lot of that was because at the time, in order to get a house, you had to come out of pocket. And there were lots of people that were like, you have a conventional loan? I'm just going to go with this guy with cash. You have an FHA or government loan? No, I'm just going with the conventional. It's putting down a huge down payment. So as that was happening, you did see way more cash purchases, and that has started to go down recently. However, if you look at this chart, it was also high in 2012, 13, 14, just kind of kept spiking up and down, up and down, up and down in those time periods, higher than what it is right now. And I'm wondering if that's because at the time, I remember 2013, there were a lot of homes on the market that wouldn't qualify for a traditional mortgage. And it would not qualify for FHA, wouldn't qualify for VA, RD because of the condition of the property. And you had a lot of people entering the market with cash in that time period because that was the only way that you could buy the home, either cash or conventional. And it was due to the condition of the property, not due to the competition. And I think now you're starting to see a move to cash in the last 3 or 4 years due to competition for the property. But that's my. So is America in for a rate cut? The Bank of Canada cut key interest rate again, signaling more cuts ahead. This is their third straight rate cut. Olivier sent us this article in the contributor chat. Olivier has some fears about the recession potentially coming. We'll see. We've had a huge inflation recently, and if it goes right into a recessionary period, that would be stagflation. Let's see. Headline core inflation has continued to ease as expected in Canada. Second, inflation gets closer to target. We want economic growth pick up to absorb the slack in the economy, so inflation returns substantially to the 2% target. They also have the same target we do. Interestingly, for a little while we were just kind of trugging along, and the higher for longer was the mode for our Fed. And then when the jobs were adjusted $800,000 to the negative, I think that changed the view of the Fed considerably. Some say that we'll see several 25 basis point cuts. Some say that we'll see a 0.5 cut and just ride off, and then they'll see what happens and keep an eye on it, and potentially another 25 basis point cut in the future. I don't know. We'll see. All right, 2 more stories and we're done. Florida and Texas condo supply is piling up as sales slow amid high HOA insurance costs. Now, Florida specifically has the new rule because of everything that happened in Miami with the Miami condo failing. They've increased the maintenance cost on those condos, and it appears that inventory is starting to pile up as people get out of there because it's too expensive for them to stay. Condo inventory soars in Florida and Texas. It's up 53% in Florida, 42% in Texas, and only 27% across everywhere else in the U.S. Austin, the median sale price for a condo is $380,000. That's actually down almost 2% median year over year. The pending sales is down 12.9%. So pending sales is down 13% of those condos. And then Houston, condo sales are down 35%. Wow. A cheap condo in Houston, $159,000. And then let's look at Miami. $403,000 is the median Miami property, and it's down 13%. The sales are down 13%. The actual price is down about 3%. Okay. Last article. I just thought this was an interesting article because we were talking about rents earlier. These 5 cities have the highest rent for one bedroom. A 1-bedroom apartment. This was astounding to me to see how much a 1-bedroom apartment costs around the U.S. In New York, for 1 bedroom, it's $4,500. What? You could buy like a whole luxury home here for that per month. That's crazy. Jersey City, New Jersey, $3,400 a month. San Francisco, $3,160. This is 1 bedroom, guys. 1 bedroom. Boston, $2,800 a month. And in Miami, super cheap at $2,790 a month. Isn't that wild? All right, guys, that's all the news I got. Chock full today. Chock full of news. Wasn't there a chock full of nuts commercial? Is that a thing? Chock full of nuts? I think that's a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, it's coffee.
Is that coffee? Chock full of nuts coffee? I've never heard of this.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
I'm Googling it. Chock full o' nuts.
It's already been done for you.
Coffee. Why would there be nuts in the coffee?
That's a name brand from when I was a kid. I remember it.
In 1926, it began roasting coffee during the Great Depression. Why? All right, I'm going to do some research on the name.
I think it was chock full of nuts and bolts. I can remember. I remember that.
Yeah, it had a nutty flavor too.
I'm looking at
I'm pretty sure that was from the chicory root that they added to it.
From the chicory root? Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to order it now. It's it's 69 cents an ounce. Nice. On
That's cheap.
On Amazon for a 24-ounce can. I mean, I got to try it. Chock full of nuts. I've never heard of
that.
such
Make sure you order Bustelo if you don't like it, because Bustelo's the best.
Wasn't there was a commercial though? I've never had it, but all I remember is the chock full of nuts commercial. I got to find that commercial somewhere. All right. That's all I got. We were chock full of articles today. The nuts were definitely on Clubhouse. Thank you guys for joining us. They're in the comments. I'm going to have even more nuts later in the comments. I've been getting a lot of comments lately that are pretty fun. So thank you guys for that. Also, the lady that was offended by me wearing a t-shirt, I just wanted you to know that when I put this on today, I did it for you. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm serious. I think they were a lady. I don't know what their pronouns. But
hey, chock full of nuts. The owner originally owned 18 nut shops in New York City and started doing coffee.
Huh. So he owned nut shops, and he said, I'm done. I'm going to go coffee. Or you call it chock full of nuts. All right. I'm going to test it out.
On Wikipedia. There you go.
Maybe next week instead of tea time, or 2 weeks, I guess, we'll do some nuts time. Wait a minute. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the show. Thanks to the contributor chat for contributing so many articles for this week and for contributing your voice to the podcast. I can't do this show without you because it would just be boring. So thanks everybody for joining, and I will see y'all next week.